It's the gold medal game in the World Lacrosse Men's U21 Championship in Limerick, Ireland. And tonight we hand out a gold medal for the first time in 6 years in this event. But nothing new in terms of the opponents tonight. It's the U.S. and Canada for the 6th time in a row. For the last week and a half, we've seen lacrosse highlights abound at the University of Limerick as 23 teams made the trip to Western Ireland. After a week and a half, just 2 remain, and it's the 2 who have been on a collision course since we began on August 10th, the United States and the Canadians. Happy Saturday, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us. Drew Carter, Quint Kesnick with you. We'll check in with Ralph Benarchik on the field in just a moment. And Quint, this one is shaping up to be an epic battle.
This rivalry is huge at all levels. This event has been owned by the Americans since 1988. They're 8-0. Canada's 0-6 in the finals. But I got a feeling about this game. This is going to be a special game. I am super excited. You're going to see something epic here.
Yeah, some of the best young talent in the world is on display today, starting with Brennan O'Neill, the attackman for Team USA, who's been a superstar at Duke.
2 years at Duke, he's put up 98 goals. He's averaged over 4 points a game. How does he does it? Great size. He's 6'2", 225. He's versatile and deceptive. He's been an unstoppable force in Ireland.
But the guy with the most points in this tournament on the field today is Ross Scott on the other attack line.
Native of Oregon, playing for Team Canada. I mean, he's super fast. He is so fast. His severe angle shooting has been on target, and he adds a different dimension to this Canadian offense.
50 goals at Rutgers this spring, leading them to their first championship weekend. The matchup to watch is at the Face-Off X, and Ralph has more on that.
Hey guys, when they met up 10 days ago, 7-5 U.S. win. The face-off game told everything. 13-2 United States against Canada. And I kind of caught up with the Canadian lone face-off man here at the tournament, Bo Columbus, earlier today. And he feels, along with Matt Brown, their head coach, better placed than they were back then in terms of handling the face-off X today from the United States. He got an accelerated crash course with Canadian face-off legend and assistant coach Jeff Snyder. He goes into this game with great confidence. He also feels like he has an exit strategy much better prepared and just more comfortable handling the ball. We'll see if that swings that today and gets Canada their first gold medal.
Good stuff, Ralph. Yeah, Columbus should be confident after he went 28 for 28 in a game against Ireland back in the quarterfinals in this tournament. It's the U.S. and Canada. Will the Canadians take the gold north of the border, or will the U.S. make it 9 for 9? Opening face-off is next. Welcome back to the University of Limerick in Western Ireland. The U.S. and Canada, they're chomping at the bit to start this gold medal game. On an overcast day in Limerick, cloudy skies, mid-60s, potential rain in the forecast as you check out the officials. Michael Leahy out of England will lead this crew. Bo Columbus at the X for Canada. Against Jake Naso, the Duke Blue Devil for Team USA. This is the matchup to watch, and the Canadians have now matched their clean face-off total win from the entire first meeting when they went just 2 for 15, including one procedure.
Matt Wright out of North Carolina with the wing ground ball. I'm talking to Canadian head coach Matt Brown, who's been subtly experimenting all along this event. He felt face-offs and goaltending were the obvious. If they don't win enough face-offs, Team Canada, then clearing is imperative. This is a running clock. There's no shot clock. It's a shorter game with longer possessions. Therefore, possession is key.
It's absolutely huge, and Team USA dominated in the first meeting. There's big Thomas McConvey, 44 in red, the lefty midfielder with a hammer. And right as we say possessions are key, the Canadians cough it up.
Airmailed out of bounds. Now, emotion and intensity is going to be off the charts. This rivalry is everything in international lacrosse. Get in the game, get a touch, make a hit, make a play, and then settle down.
Yeah, you're right, Hugh. This rivalry is what international lacrosse is all about. Think back to 2018 in Netanya, Israel. We saw these two teams match up. U.S. won it at the last second. The goal from Tommy Schreiber. Earlier this summer, Canada won the World Lacrosse Sixes. The first time we saw that format, crushing Team USA in a format that really favored Canada. This time, it's so evenly matched, it's hard to handicap this one. Here comes Graham Bundy, Georgetown Hoya. Gets it to O'Neill. 53 goals this spring at Duke. 13 is Shane Knobloch. Another Rutgers Scarlet Knight. Knobloch, nice setup. Slusher somehow got the shot off. It's blocked by Caleb Creaser, the Canadian goalie. They need him to stand tall today.
Flag
There's
drop.
a flag on the field.
Yeah, as U.S. got inside the Canadian defense. You see the physicality of this game. Opportunity now for the power play for Team USA. They bring on Brendan Grimes, a lefty sniper from that wing, big number 19.
The Americans have scored 85 goals in this tournament. Canadians 86. O'Neill with time and space and airmails it.
Good closeout by 13 in red, Matt Wright. He's been active, the long pole.
He'll be a senior at Carolina this spring with 2 years of eligibility left. Half the man up is gone. That one rings off the crossbar. Picked up on the rebound and shoveled home by Lance Tillman. Oh, check that. CJ Curse, number 1 in white.
Huge crowd. The outside rip from Bundy out of Georgetown. And what a pickup inside. CJ Curse. Second-year player out of Cornell. He's had a marvelous tournament. He was a late add to this Team USA team. Led the Cornell Big Red to championship weekend in a loss in the finals. Had 7 goals against Ohio State in round 1 of the tournament. And he's been stellar. Playing some attack, playing some midfield. His 11th goal of the event.
It was a thing of beauty. 55 goals this spring in his first year at Cornell. Naso giving up his body. It's a fight on the wing. Ball trickles to the American offensive side, and it's Canada ball.
2 face-off wins is huge. Look at this Canadian offense. 77 on that left wing is Owen Hiltz. He's a catalyst. Up top, I love the work of Thomas McConvey, big number 44. He's not on the field right now. And then that man behind the goal, Ross Scott, 15, as a dodger and distributor. Those 3, in my eyes, stir the drink for the rest of the crew.
This is Sam English, number 10, Princeton Tiger. Moved from D-Midi to O-Midi this spring. 30 goals and 17 assists as Princeton went to championship weekend. Here's Carter Page, another 50-plus goal scorer at St. Joe's this spring. Adam Poitras, Loyola Greyhound. Canada spins it. 5 minutes into this first quarter, US 1, Canada zip. Swim dodge. Sam English on the setup. Liam Entenmann with the save. And there's a flag down, so Canada will go to the man up. Noah Manning, number 7, had a golden opportunity. Entenmann with the save.
He can be the difference maker. Notre Dame goaltender who finished off this season on fire for the Fighting Irish. Watch him go to the splits here and cover up that offside low. When he's moving his feet, he's about as good as it gets. He made 19 saves against Michigan. That was the catalyst for the second half of the season. He had 22 in the dome, Drew, to take down your Orange.
He had double-digit saves in each of his last 10 games this spring. Led the ACC in save percentage at 57%. He's above 70 in this tournament. Canadian man up, cashes in. Ross Scott puts Canada on the board.
I'm telling you, this game is going to be lit. There are so many good players, so much talent on the field, so much at stake. Look at the deception. Scott dips down low, he drops his hips, he puts his head down low, and then comes from low to high as Entenmann bought that fake, tied up at a piece, 2 power play goals.
How about the angle for Ross Scott, too? Stuffing it in.
Severe angle shooting. He's about as good as it gets right now at the college. Go back to when we saw him in the first round of the tournament when he scored 8 goals against Harvard in round 1. So many of those goals coming from, looks like no shot is there, and he makes goalies look silly.
The Americans take this face-off. It's their first face-off win today. As you said, Q, man-up goals for each team. We're level at 1. There's big Brennan O'Neill, 6'2", 225. Fake the shot, goes to the crease, and it's turned aside by Creaser.
That move was spectacular. You see the smoothness of O'Neill.
Canada going the other way quickly, and they give it right back.
Transition's going to be tricky in this game. Off the Creaser save, they want to run. That's fine. Watch this. This move right here. He steps away. Defense rushes out at him. Whoop! I'm by ya. Look at Verch. He's playing with a Woody. Had no answers. Had no answers for O'Neill, but Creaser's there.
Levi Verch's got that old school wooden stick. We've seen that a couple times in this tournament. Dougie Powlis of Haudenosaunee, yeah.
The all-wood stick is legal at the international level. Can't play with it at the NCAA level. It's a little heavier. It brings a little pack to the party, I tell you that much. You get hit on the elbows or the shoulder or the wrist with that baby, woo, it'll leave a mark.
Do you think some guys would play with it if it were legal in NCAA?
There are some physical defenders who would love to play with it.
Here's Cole Kirst. His brother CJ has the only goal. Sets it up for O'Neill, and the lefty hammer makes it 2-1 US.
He's a problem. He's a big problem for Canada. Cole Kirst has been feeding really strong in this tournament. Okay, Kirst graduated from Lehigh. He's going to take an extra year at Syracuse. They've played him some down low at attack this week with Kavanaugh being injured. And what Kirst has done well, he's carried against a defender in his grill, and he's managed to find open men. You got to find an answer for Brennan O'Neill if you're Team Canada. That is job number 1.
For those who don't follow the college game very closely, to give you an idea of what we're talking about with Brennan O'Neill, he's the Zion Williamson of college lacrosse. He's a lefty, sensation out of high school, committed to Duke. He was committed to Penn State in 8th grade. #1 recruit in his class, flipped to the Blue Devils, led them to championship weekend his freshman year as the ACC Rookie of the Year. He's a phenom. He's got 17 goals now to lead the U.S. in this tournament, and he's given them the lead 2-1.
He averaged over 4 points a game last year. Late in the year, he was unstoppable. But Duke didn't have a great year with 6 losses.
Canada comes right back. Anything you can do, I can do better. Big lefty for the Canadians. Thomas McConvey makes it 2-2.
Virginia fans, you're going to love this guy, Thomas McConvey. He just wrapped up his career at Vermont. And in this tournament, he's been an unstoppable force because of his size at 6'4", 210, because of his dexterity around the goal in two-man games, and the finishing accuracy that comes from his experience in the box game. He's going to Charlottesville to get his master's in accounting. You'll see him on the wing, two-man games with Peyton Cormier, and he deserves a double team, if not a pole, every single possession.
Played with Peyton Cormier since he's 4 years old up in Canada. Face-off battle has been an interesting one, and Canada's now 4 for 5 if that one goes down as a win, but it's taken away by Jack Monfort, 23 in white for U.S. Back to Entenmann, and the Americans have the rock.
Monfort out of Yale, 23 in white. He missed the initial scoop. It was a great poke by Ferry, who's out of Loyola. And Monfort stays with it and then finds his goaltender. So good poise after missing the first-time grounder.
Monfort's been impressive in the couple games we've done, Q. He's all over the place, lots of speed.
Good athlete. He and Patrick Hackler are two of the 4 short stick defensive midfielders for Nick Myers and his Team USA. They'll come back for Andy Shea, and I think Yale, the Bulldogs, will have a strong year next year.
4 minutes left in this first quarter, tied at 2. Here's C.J. Kerr, scored the first goal, tried to get his hands free. It was poked away as he wound up the sidewinder. Fight for possession, kept here by Bundy.
Spectacular trail check on the initial Kirst shot. Big hits. It's a mouthpiece and chin strap game.
U.S. content to hang on here. 4 turnovers for Canada on the other side.
Yeah, good news, bad news. They've won 3 of the 4 face-offs in this game, but already they have 4 TOs.
O'Neill's got the short
Matchup
stick.
now. Yeah.
It's Casey Wilson, number 2 in red, draws the slide, gets it to Pat Cavanaugh. Time and space. That hit pipe on the shot from,
I think he hit
from Bundy.
Fans on their feet are loving this action. Loving this action. That was a brilliant, brilliant little set from Team USA. They kicked it behind to Cavanaugh. Skip pass through the defense. All day to set your feet and let it rip. Looks like Canada may have potentially in a zone here. They are.
A lot of teams have tried that out against USA, just throwing something at the wall, see if it's going to stick against this loaded offense. 7 shots for the Americans.
The other
2 goals.
Drew, the other deal is that the possessions are longer because of no shot clock. So you can play defense for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And because of that, sometimes you want to switch into a zone and rest your legs.
Kirst goes upstairs. C.J. Kirst has a couple in the first quarter. 3-2 U.S.
Bundy does a wonderful job. He presses the left-handed alley, rolls back, understanding that the double team is coming. Kirst, to his credit, moves towards the Dodger, away from the second slide that's usually coming from that backside post, which makes it a longer slide. A lot of subtleties and nuances on that play, and 2 of the best players in college lacrosse hook up.
You know, Q, 14 players scored 50-plus goals this spring. 5 of them are on the field here. Alex Stathakis wins the draw, quick setup, and the shot goes wide from Cavanaugh, backed up by Slusher. Remember, it's closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds on a shot.
USA has options at the faceoff. They've got Jake Naso, quickness and speed. Stathakis, he's the bear. He needs to be the bear for Team USA. That's the most powerful man in the scrum with the quick hands who can catch the fish out of the river. Stathakis can be that bear.
Stathakis out of Denver, Naso out of Duke. It's only the one-man, Bo Columbus, for Canada. O'Neill caught it with the right hand. Odell style with 1. Under a minute left in this first quarter, 3-2 U.S. Again, it's O'Neill versus a short stick. Trent DeCiccio out of Ohio State, 18 in red. O'Neill with a half step. Sets it up. Another rip, that one from Tillman. Caught a piece of the bar, I think, out of bounds.
DeCiccio doing nice work on O'Neal, not giving him a free run, encroaching his space.
Kavanaugh flips it back to his right hand with 15 seconds. This is Colkhurst leading the team in assists, operating from X. 10 seconds to shoot. Kurst turns the corner. It's taken away by Canada. Clock. And they're out of the pack with it. Threw it on goal. Entenmann got crushed outside his crease. And that's how the first quarter ends.
Woo! Here we go. You can feel it, can't you?
Oh, baby.
You can feel it.
3-2 U.S. after 15. Buckle your seatbelts. The best rivalry in international lacrosse is adding another chapter today. It was Kurst on the shovel to start. Back and forth they went. Americans lead by 1 in search of their 9th gold medal in this event.
Test 1, 2. Ralph, mic test, headset booth. Mic test, headset booth, mic. Headset booth, mic. Okay. Test 1, 2. Drew, Quint, you guys hear me? So this is via headset mic in the booth.
Yep,
Hi, Ralph.
I hear you, Ralph.
We got you.
Back in Limerick Island, 3-2 U.S. after 1 quarter. Don't forget tonight from Salt Lake City, UFC 278, Kamaru Usman, top pound-for-pound fighter in the UFC against Leon Edwards in the main event. Prelims begin at 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN Deportes, ESPN, and ESPN Plus. Purchase the main card on pay-per-view. You get access to a special broadcast with Rob Gronkowski and his family. Don't miss it tonight from Salt Lake. U21 Men's Lacrosse Championships. After a week and a half, it's the matchup we expected in the gold medal game, U.S. and Canada. And after 15 minutes, 3-2 U.S. Jake Naso against Bo Columbus at the faceoff X, and the Canadians take another one, but again, they give it back. That's 5 turnovers for Team Canada in the first quarter and change.
That's been the difference in this game.
We thought the difference might be the faceoffs, where U.S. won 13 of 15 in the first meeting back on August 10th. So far, Canada has won the faceoff battle 5-2, but it's exactly the same in terms of turnovers.
Canadian Fogo, Bo Columbus has done a nice job to avoid getting beat right away. Stathakis got him the one time with a pinch and pop out the front side, but Columbus benefits from the tutelage of Canadian assistant coach Jeff Snyder, one of the best face-off men in Canadian history. It's on the bench. They've been watching tape and working on things since August 10th.
Knobloch rolls back, sets it up, and Kavanaugh puts it home.
Everybody eating right now. Beautiful team offense. Shane Knobloch out of Rutgers, presses the crease, rolls back. Here's the double. The slide across the face of the crease. That full defensive rotation is a tad late. He puts it on the spot. And give Kavanaugh credit because he catches that ball on the move. There is no hesitation with Patrick Kavanaugh. He is tough as nails. He's going to get to the middle of the field. He catches that moving up, takes that extra step to greatness, and the U.S. has scored back-to-back.
Largest lead in the early goings of this game. It was tied at 1, tied at 2 as Naso gets crunched coming in from the wing. That's USA ball. See the shots on goal. That number was even at 16 in the first meeting. 16 shots for U.S., 16 for Canada on goal, and it was a 7-5 American win. Here comes Cole Kearse, number 2. Sharp angle shot. Kavanaugh's there on the backup.
Cole's had a terrific tournament. Going to be heading to the Newhouse School at Syracuse to study television. Really fundamental, super smart.
You have to be to go to Syracuse. It's the Harvard of Central New York. People say that all the time. Here's O'Neal, pretty smart guy in his own right. Going to be a junior at Duke this spring. That's a turnover by the USA.
Tell you, he got the matchup he wanted, and he dusted that man at the top of the box. I didn't really see a double. It's almost as if the USA players weren't expecting him to run by that man so easily. It's an important possession for Canada. They've got to cut back on the turnovers, get a good look here, because you feel like the U.S. has kind of controlled the last 5 minutes of this game.
Brock Haley, 11 in red's a good guy to do it. He goes catamount to catamount with his former Vermont teammate Thomas McConvey, 44. Here comes Graydon Hogg, another America East player from Albany. Regained his footing and somehow kept it in his crease.
A turf monster in Ireland. This is a grass field. It's one of the nicest that we've ever seen. They've been playing a ton of games on it for 10 days, and look at it. Incredible surface.
Here's Hogg. Shoots high and scores. Graydon Hogg makes it a 1-goal game.
If you're a fan of the Albany Great Danes, you understand that Graydon Hogg is a sensational college player. He can do it all. He's a heart and soul type player, a leader. He can take shifts on attack, at midfield, on the wings of face-offs. He plays with a mean streak, and head coach Scott Marr told us he's their best player. He was a second team America East. He's from Oshawa, and he put up 26 goals this spring. And man, his acceleration is something special.
Matt Brown, head coach of Team Canada, said Hogg is a future NLL All-Star. Saw his potential on display, 4 goals against Syracuse and a win in April. Again, it's Canada with the face-off win, and this could be trouble for Team USA as Columbus, 55, comes lumbering down Main Street and scores! Face-off, get off, no sir! Bo Columbus ties it at 4.
Pick your poison if you're the Team USA defense. Again, the great ground ball by Matt Wright. Watch how they hold on this break, and they don't give 55 any respect. Stathakis can't run him down, and Columbus shoots this textbook overhand to the far post. He just yanks it down low. makes Enneman's job really difficult.
It's his first goal of the tournament. Bo
Taking that goal off the, are they taking that goal off the board?
We've got it. Oh yeah, they took it off the board. Any idea why, Q? You see anything?
Crease violation? Offsides? I don't know.
That's brutal for Bo Columbus. What a moment for the faceoff guy. Here's Kavanaugh, operating from X, number 4, has the 4th goal for Team USA. Knobloch spins it around. Here's O'Neal. Again, dusts his defender, draws the slide. That was an offside on the faceoff against Team Canada, which is why that last goal didn't count, and the U.S. still leads. O'Neal tried to jam it, blocked by Creaser.
O'Neal's got some pep in his step, doesn't he? Look how hard he's playing today.
Knobloch skips it. Kavanaugh right on the doorstep. Karst puts it home. CJ's got a hat trick in the first half.
Big smile. It seemed like Team Canada went to a little zone there, or they lost their matchups, because there's all sorts of white jerseys uncovered in the slot area. Kavanaugh, he can do so much. Brilliant passing, and Karst can't miss today. So a big 2-goal swing. No goal for Columbus. U.S. answers.
The last 4 U.S. goals have been assisted, giving Canada a little taste of their own medicine. Naso and Columbus again. Naso gets clocked. He's taken a beating in this first half, and it's U.S. ball.
A hold was called.
It was the 10th faceoff. Canada 6, U.S. 4 at the X. Neither team has led by more than 2. O'Neal had it poked away. That's a great stick by Alex Marinier. 5 in red, leads to possession for Canada.
Virch with a great crossfield pass. Transition.
Here they come. English, one more. On the setup, Owen Hiltz had it poked free. Swarming defense from Team USA, and Quentin Matsui, 32 in white.
How about that passing from the guys in red? Really unselfish. One more. Matsui making the last effort on that weak side post to get there and disrupt Hiltz.
Matsui looked like he was playing middle linebacker for Eden Prairie High School in the West Metro area of Minnesota, closing that gap. Timeout called by Team USA and head coach Nick Myers.
This game being played at a super high level. You're looking at future pros. Guys like Brendan O'Neal and Pat Kavanaugh, they'll play in the PLL someday. Team Canada, guys like Ross Scott, Thomas McConvey, they're future pros themselves. And this event has had future pros in the past. I mean, it was Mac O'Keefe, Michael Sowers, Brian Costabile, and Ryan Conrad played for Team USA back in 2016 alongside Jack Rowlett. So super, super high-level talent.
And Brendan O'Neal, as you said, he might be the most talented guy on the field here. You go back to the semifinal Thursday against Haudenosaunee. Pretty low-scoring game, but this is ridiculous off-balance stuff.
That's from about 12 yards while falling. Haudenosaunee had a wonderful tournament. They finished 3rd. They won the bronze medal game earlier today over Australia. So congratulations to the Haudenosaunee. But you see, Brendan O'Neal is going to be a top pick when his days at Duke for John Danowski are done.
Speaking of pro sports, our second Week 2 NFL preseason game is Monday. The Falcons square off against the Jets 8 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern with a special edition of Monday Night Countdown. Lacrosse
Guess
fans.
who plays for the Atlanta Falcons? Jared Bernhardt. Guess what he was doing in the summer of 2016? He was representing Team USA on then what was their U19 team. He was part of that group in 16. I mentioned O'Keefe, Sowers, Costabile, Conrad, Rowlett, Dox, Aiken, Brad Smith. They're all pros right now. Bernhardt's a pro. It's just in the NFL.
He got a touchdown for the Falcons last week.
He
Chris Hogan.
there was a clip on Twitter I looked at this morning. He was did a nice pattern over the middle and scored a touchdown in practice over Sauce Gardner, the #1 draft pick corner out of Cincinnati.
Jared Bernhardt, go back to 2016, the last time this gold medal game was played, like you said, Q, and it was U19. Bernhardt scored the game-tying goal to make it 12-12 to set up Team USA to score the game winner with 8 seconds left and beat Canada for the 5th time in as many meetings in the gold medal game. 6th time in as many meetings, 5th in a row. Here's Kavanaugh. Sets it up again, and C.J. Kirst have a day in the gold medal game. 4 first-half goals for #1.
Talked about him out of Del Barton and Cornell. Kirst family losing their father, Kyle. Michelle marching forward with the Suns. Connor plays for the Whipsnakes. Collins, a backup goalie for the Cannons. Caden's on his way up, and you got Cole and CJ doing the damage this week in Ireland. The CJ can't miss right now. The Ivy League Rookie of the Year. He'll be a second-year player for Coach Busick next year up at Ithaca.
One of those guys, Q, who withdrew from school when the Ivy League didn't play lacrosse in 2021 to preserve his eligibility. Timeout, Canada. Down by 3, largest lead for either side, 6-3, under 5 to play in this first half.
Say one thing, CJ at Cornell did most of his damage with the ball in his cross from that left-handed wing, goal line extended. He likes to curl up with the 2-man games. Today, he's been most effective off ball without it.
Let's go back to Canada semifinal against Australia. Real close one, nail-biter, 19-1. Canada, it was 19-zip with under 5 minutes left, and the Aussies got on the board. Ross Scott's just a superstar, especially in this game.
A couple things caught my eye in this game. They moved Noah Manning, plays at Denver. They moved him down low to attack and swung Carter Page up to the midfield. So that's one of those subtle adjustments that Matt Brown talked about. I thought this team, Canada, has gotten better and better and better each game. Caleb Creaser, their goalie, has gotten better. His clearing's gotten better. The chemistry between Ross Scott and Owen Hiltz and Thomas McConvey has been on par. But one thing, the U.S., if the U.S. is going to win this game, it's going to be because of their defense. U.S.'s defense throughout this tournament has been unbelievable. I don't know if we're talking enough about Kenny Brower, 7 in white. Jackson Bonnets, 8 in white. You mentioned Matsui. Those guys have been rock solid down below.
Speaking of rock solid, let's check in with Ralph Bednarchuk on the field.
Yeah, quick, the point on Ross Scott, his comfort level has taken off, he said, since that opening game against the U.S. He was held to 1-1. Today, he says, he told me his confidence of every step he's taking while a member of Canada is much higher. He knows the finer tendencies of all of his teammates, where they want the ball, how they run and set up their cuts. And he nearly thought he may not even make the team in the early going back to Thanksgiving of 2019. Here he is.
Graydon Hogg with a bouncer beats Entenmann. His second goal today, and Canada's back within 2.
A lot of credit to head coach Matt Brown, who's the offensive coordinator at Denver. He calls timeout, and what does he go to? He goes back to Hogg, who scored their last goal. He says, you know what? We're going to hold off on the little Ross Scott from X. We like the matchup of the shorty against Hogg. I talked about his left-handed acceleration. There it is again. And if you're Team USA, you got to recognize that. They're putting so much emphasis on stopping McConvey, 44 in red, that they let Hogg go without the double team.
Naso went down to the grass to pick it up. Canada has another face-off win from the wing. Had it for a second. Matt Wright, 13 in red, picked it up, and I believe it's a timeout. Yeah, it is a timeout Canada, so they burned them both in the last 30 seconds, scored out of the last one with 3:35 to play in the second quarter. Canada ball.
There you see Coach Matt Brown with that wooden stick. Brown, the assistant coach for Bill Tierney. In talking to Matt yesterday, he wanted me to emphasize Dave Huntley, who's he says we're going to win this one for Hunts. Dave Huntley, a former Team Canada player and coach, passed away years ago. He was my coach with the Baltimore Thunder, a real mentor, and still a part of this Team Canada program.
Team Canada trying to win their first gold in this event, down by 2. Don't forget Sunday Night Baseball, the 5th annual MLB Little League Classic from Williamsport at historic Bowman Field, just 7 miles from where the kids are playing. It's the series finale between the Red Sox and Orioles, 7 Eastern on ESPN, with a special Kids Cast edition over on ESPN2. 3 future broadcast stars will be voices of that game.
Go O's!
Placido Polanco. Q, you're not even a Baltimore native. Or do you count as one
I
now?
grew up a Mets. I grew up a huge Mets fan. I was a huge Mets fan. I'd go to 2 or 3 games a year at Shea, and I used to go to Orioles games. It's been a while. When they were at Memorial Stadium, I was in college. We used to walk down late. We'd show up late in the game. They'd give us a full rack of beers, and we'd sit in that left field bleacher seats. And they switched over to Camden Yards. A great place to go watch a ball game. My brother Pace is a huge Orioles fan.
Just a beautiful stadium. They're pretty good this year, above 500. Under 3.5 to play in this first half.
They have the same payroll as one of those Little League teams. That's really the shocker.
Canada's down by 2 here. Out of the timeout, they scored right after the last one. This is Adam Poitras from Whitby, Ontario, and the Hill Academy. On the setup for Scott, had some space. Now he skitters back to the top.
It's a nice closeout by Michael Alexander, 36 in white.
The U.S. is going to do some time here. It'll be a minute on the man up for Canada.
Matt Brown mixing it up off that timeout. They go to the invert where they attack behind the goal. So there's a lot of coaching going on in this game. Where do we attack from? Which pieces of the puzzle do we feel most comfortable? What matchups can we exploit? This is where this team is lethal.
Quick passing. A lot of these guys grew up playing box lacrosse together. Tight areas, silky hands, creative. Here's Owen Hilt, 77, has been quiet today. Their leading goal scorer in this tournament coming in was 17. High pass, nice catch from Scott. Here's Haley. No look feed. That shot's just wide from number 7, Noah Manning.
Real tight. U.S. splits on D are really tight. They're putting the burden here on Entenmann to make a save from the outside.
And they've got snipers. 15 left on this man up. Hiltz took a look. Here's Haley, leading a sister in this tournament for Canada. Hiltz skips it. Manning couldn't corral it. Big missed opportunity as Team USA takes it away. It was 8 in white Jackson Bonnets on the ground ball pickup.
Outstanding defense. Really good. All the players in their zone, sticks up, moving their feet. They didn't give any through passes, any skip passes. They kept the ball on the perimeter. That's really good team defense.
Timeout, Nick Myers and Team USA. $1:19 left in the second quarter.
Bonnets comes up with that loose ball. Naval Academy. Grew up in Pennsylvania. Played high school lacrosse at the McDonough School. He originally was a verbal to Penn State, but he had a change of mind, and he is a hard-nosed guy. Really one of the young players at Navy who's got the future for Joe Amplo looking bright there. He's made 14 starts. Quantitative econ major. You don't hear much of those at Cuse, Drew. He's 3.28 GPA. The first Navy player, I think, to ever play for the the U19 version of Team USA.
Bonnets has been special in this tournament. So is C.J. Kirst. He's got 4 goals in this first half for Team USA. A spectacular rookie year at Cornell. 55 goals, 24 assists. Ivy League Rookie of the Year. Helped lead that team with Connor Busick at the helm all the way to the championship game.
Bigger the game, the better CJ plays. You can see the authentic love of the game in the way he plays, the way he competes. 7 goals in that first round game against Ohio State, 3 against Rutgers, and his brother in the semifinals. And then Cornell nearly shocked Maryland in the title, man. They hung around and took Maryland their toughest 60 minutes of the year, and it's a good Cornell team next year. Jack Follows, who plays for Team Canada, he and Gavin Adler will play down low. Got Michael Long, C.J. Kirst, Aiden Blake at the midfield. Cornell's going to be right back in the mix in 2023.
Here's Graham Bundy, Georgetown Hoya. Gets it to O'Neal. C.J. Kirst. Under a minute now in the first half. Last time these teams met in 2016, the gold medal game. Canada got out to an 8-2 lead. Team USA stormed all the way back and won with 8 seconds left. Ryan Conrad on the dunk on the feed from Simon Matthias. 13-12. U.S. has won all 8 gold medals in this tournament. Here's C.J. Kirst with 15 ticks on the timer. Kirst high-stepping. Goes low and scores again. C.J. Kirst is unconscious in the gold medal game.
Not sure what Team Canada's doing here. He's known as a left-handed player. They kind of give him the right side. The defender, for some reason, doesn't track him through X behind the goal and instead tries to meet him halfway by coming in front of the goal. You can't do that, obviously. Just a huge breakdown.
Kirst 5, Canada 4. There might be a new Captain America stateside by the time this game ends. Under 10 seconds left. Naso and Columbus battle again. Canada ball with 3 seconds. Is it enough time? They fling it. Ball goes in! Canada scores a buzzer beater. Levi Virch, 60 in red, had it. I don't know if his shot was the one that found Twine.
Left-handed from the midline. Not sure if it was deflected or what, but Entenmann can't believe it. Canada, who had Bo Columbus's face-off goal taken off the board, and it looks like this one's going to count for Levi Virch. Victoria, British Columbia native, plays at St. Joe's, so be a rising sophomore. Played in all the games this year. Took that St. Joe's team into the tournament, nearly upset Yale, and a huge momentum lifter for the guys in red as we head towards halftime.
Levi Virch, first goal of the tournament. He scored a couple as a freshman this spring, and he has given Canada a major boost. An influx of juice for the Canadians, down by 2, heading to halftime. Nick Myers, head coach of Team USA, is standing by with Ralph.
Nick, C.J. Kirst, the story. He's your youngest guy. He's been with this program the least amount of time. 5 goals. How has he changed his game and ascended over these last couple of days, particularly that first half?
Yeah, listen, I didn't know he had 5 until you just said that. I think that we're a unit down there offensively. It's been kind of next man up. You know, everybody's had opportunities all week long. He's having a great game tonight, but I think he's really feeding off his teammates. They're doing a great job collectively down there. We got to do a better job in the middle of the field. That's a really tough goal to give up. I just thought offensively we did a really nice job of sharing the ball. Defensively, we've been sound. We got to do a better job in the middle of the field.
Nick, thank you.
You got it.
Guys, back to you.
Good stuff, Ralph. The score now is the same as it was at the final a week and a half ago when these two teams met in the first game of this U21 championship. Team USA leads 7-5. They have not trailed, but all the momentum belongs to Canada. Heading to halftime after Levi Virch with a pole goal to beat the buzzer. 5 tallies from C.J. Kirst of Team USA in the first half have them up by 2. Welcome back to Limerick, Ireland, halftime in the gold medal game between the U.S. and Canada. 7-5, the Americans lead. This was the final score when they met up in pool play a week and a half ago. It's the score after 30 minutes. We've got a classic in store in the second half. And speaking of good things in store, the PLL is on the final weekend of the regular season. Let's check in with the announcers.
As we wrap up a great weekend of lacrosse in Salt Lake City and we head to Seattle for the final weekend of action, let's take a look at the PLL standings. What we knew coming out of Salt Lake City is this. Whipsnakes, they wrap up the #1 seed and the bye in the first round of the playoffs. Redwoods, they've locked up a playoff spot, so we know 6 of the 7 teams are on board. That final playoff spot, Chaos and Cannons, we still don't know who's going to occupy that spot. That's going all the way to Seattle in the final game of the year before we know who's going to take it. Chris Cotter and Ryan Boyle with you, and Rhino coming out of Salt Lake City. Okay, we found out a lot of things, and we learned a few things, but we don't know who that final playoff team is going to be.
Yeah, that's the obvious one. How do Chaos and Cannons that last week shake out? I think the other bit of intrigue is who's that #2 seed? Because, you know, would you rather see Chaos or Cannons or Redwoods, who are kind of seemingly in that 6th spot, borderline locked in there?
The Atlas loss here in Salt Lake City really kind of changed the game, and we take a look at the schedule in Seattle. And a lot to play for. Obviously, the Cannons, boy, that is an uphill battle because not only are you a game behind Chaos, but you're behind them in scoring differential, and you're playing the #1 team in the league.
And I don't think the Whipsnakes are going to take their foot off the gas pedal. I think with that first round bye, they want to create some momentum. They're going to, I would think they're going to play their guys that whole game or the bulk of the game. So it's not like the Whipsnakes are going to be like, here, Cannons, let me just ease your way into the playoffs here. And you know, Atlas, after the drubbing that the Whipsnake just put on, they're going to want to create some momentum. So that's a big game for them against Chaos.
That's another good point, is that the Atlas have been struggling. They're going to want to get the ship right, even though they know they're going to the playoffs. They want to be playing their best lacrosse going into those quarterfinal games in Boston. One final look at the standings, to your point. That second, third, fourth, and fifth, and even the Redwoods in the 6th spot, you can have a lot of movement there in Seattle.
Yeah, a lot of movement potential. The score differential, you kind of see the blocks. Chrome and Archers kind of fighting for that number 2 spot. You know, Redwoods would have to be a Herculean effort to kind of leapfrog. So how do teams kind of, you know, they all want to win. They all want to gain momentum, but that jockeying, it plays a part.
And they all want to play their best lacrosse heading into the postseason. It's going to be a wonderful weekend in Seattle. We can't wait.
Good stuff. Cotter Boyle, PLL. Weekend begins 7 Eastern tonight in Seattle. Chrome and the Redwoods. It's raining in Limerick, Ireland at halftime of the gold medal game between the USA and Canada. We'll try to squeeze in the second half. A gold medal is on the line tonight.
Ross Scott.
That was a nice catch by O'Neill.
Good point. Handcuffed him. Convey. A little too quiet. Bundy to Kirst. 3-2 end of the first quarter. Knobloch to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh to Kirst. Shots differential. 9-5 Canada faceoffs. Wow.
It's pretty surprising. I think it's a little misleading, though.
They've had a lot of turnovers. I'd love to see that last goal again from a different angle, but I guess we're kind of limited.
Yeah, we'll try and add that in, yeah.
Yeah.
An instant classic is brewing in Limerick, Ireland. 7-5 Team USA over Team Canada at halftime of the gold medal game of the World Lacrosse Men's U21 Championships. Look back at the first half. It was back and forth. 1-1, 2-2. Biggest lead was 3 for Team USA.
Power play. Ross Scott parked in the back post. Tied it up at 1. Brennan O'Neill catching this one left-handed from Cold Kirst. McConvey running downhill, man. He is something else with a head of steam. USA's passing's been sharp. Canada's double team right here, no answer. It's Kirst. He finds a soft spot in front. CJ can't miss. Graham Bundy Jr. picks up the assist. Watch Knobloch step into the seam. He draws the double team. Kavanaugh follows that, keeps moving upfield. And Patrick Kavanaugh had a really strong first half. Here he is picking up the assist to C.J. Kirst on the inside. So C.J. Kirst with 5 goals. Kavanaugh's had a good handle. But this one, right before the buzzer, not sure what happened there defensively for Team USA. Number one, the face-off. Like, there's not much time on the face-off. You're leading this game 7-4. You kind of want to muck it up. The worst thing that can happen is any kind of violation that'll give Canada that last shot. But Verge was unchallenged. And then defensively, I'm not sure if that ball was deflected or what happened to Endeman, whether he was paying attention or not. But a big momentum change there, Drew.
And as we look at these stats, remember, U.S. was 13 for 15 at the Face-Off X when these teams met up a week and a half ago in the first game of this tournament. They lead 7-5, even though Canada leads at the Face-Off X. Hopefully the rain holds off so these American and Canadian fans can watch the second half of the gold medal game. Second half is on the way in the gold medal game between Team USA and Team Canada. The Americans lead by 2 as we start the third quarter. The face-off to begin is just moments away. I'm Drew Carter alongside Quint Kesnick. Jake Naso and Bo Columbus will do battle at the face-off X. Naso 17 in white for Team USA. Columbus 55 in red for Canada.
Canada's wing play has been outstanding on these draws.
They lead the battle here 9-5 after it was 13-2 in favor of USA when they played in the pool play a week and a half ago. This ball skitters all the way near the crease for Canada as O'Neill picks it up. Brennan O'Neill out of the pack. Wow. Look at the speed and size. That guy's a locomotive. O'Neill still has it. Jump shot bounces wide. He's just a man amongst boys.
Scoops that up with good momentum and presses the middle.
Shane Knobloch, 13 in white. Had an assist in the first half. Going to be a junior at Rutgers next spring. Here's Pat Cavanaugh operating from X. Has a step, sets it up. O'Neal. Creaser with the save. Caleb Creaser on the outlet, picked up by Levi Virch, 60, who scored the buzzer beater goal for Canada at the end of the first half.
Good stop by Creaser, bailing out his defense. Again, not a slide and recovery package that was particularly buttoned up, but he makes the body stop. And Virch handles out. You see the crowd here. It's the most packed it's been at Limerick. "23 nations. About 2 weeks of lacrosse.
It's the largest this tournament's ever been. First time it's U21, used to be U19. Bumped up the age requirement. And then after the COVID postponement, so the rosters could stay consistent up to U21, it'll be U20 in the future. On the setup, shot goes just high, backed up by Graydon Hogg, 45 in red.
First year this tournament was 1988. They had it in Australia. Andy Towers, Billy Dwan, Matt Panetta, Mickey Cavuti, Pat McCabe, I believe, was on that team as well. Traveled to Australia. They actually stayed with players and families. They didn't even stay in a hotel.
Hogg on the shovel. McConvey somehow keeps it in his cross, and his shot is backed up. Yeah, Q, I think
posting up.
Towers and Panetta have to be on the top 10 most wanted in Australia here 3 decades plus later.
There's a lot of Hall of Famers who have represented the U.S. at the U19 level.
Hiltz, what a move! Owen Hiltz jams it home. 1 goal game as 77 wakes up.
And it's been awesome to watch Owen Hiltz, who missed this season, didn't play for Syracuse with that upper body injury. Played for Culver, and then as a freshman at the Cuse, scored nearly 50 points. But he'll be back for Gary Gate in the Orange next year. His passing in this event has been next level. He can sit on that wing and throw absolute dimes. That time, a little more aggressive. I like it. Good footwork getting to the rack.
2 straight for Canada. The first time they've scored 2 in a row in this game, and they only trail by 1. Columbus and Naso, a clean win for Bo Columbus. Remember, he scored a goal. It was wiped off the board in the first half.
Really felt this coming. Team USA's had to deal with some injuries during this tournament. Cavanaugh missed some time. Michael Alexander, the long pole, has been hurt. Jake Naso did not compete in all the events. And with a small roster, when you have injuries, that can really curb the chemistry, curb the development, curb some of the growth. And there's no question that every time I plugged Canada in on ESPN Plus during this event, I felt they got better.
And if they did better at the face-off X and in goal in that first meeting when they lost 7-5, they could have easily won that game against Team USA. Here comes Carter Page, another 50-plus goal scorer this spring.
Can they get something out of this second midfield group? They've been a little top-heavy today.
Low shot, whistles wide. It's 91, Adam Poitras. 5 minutes into this third quarter.
Yeah, Poitras is most comfortable on that left-handed wing. He's got a wonderful underneath dodge. We'll get to the tangent of the crease.
Scott against Kenny Brower. What a matchup. Rutgers versus Duke.
Brower's a stud. 7 in white. Going to be a rising senior at Duke.
Here's Poitras, his younger brother Matt, a second-round pick of the Boston Bruins in the NHL draft this year.
Lefty.
Canadian guys played hockey growing up. Poitras makes his move. Picked up by Monfort. Good ball movement. Better defense from Brower, 7 and White, who poked it free, got it to Montfort, and here comes Team USA.
Brower is super solid. This is a guy in the ACC. He's made 42 starts for Duke. Third-team All-American. He is fundamental, Mr. Textbook, super disciplined. He's covered some primetime players in the ACC, guys like Connor Schellenberger, who, by the way, was 1 day too old to qualify for this USA U21 team. 1 day.
What a boost he'd give this unit. One of the best players in the country. They still lead by 1 here. Almost halfway through the third quarter. And what's shaping up to be another potential classic between these two Goliaths of the sport. Here's Kavanaugh. Got his defenseman hung up.
Yeah, they've struggled with getting hung up. They've struggled with covering the invert. It's been a nightmare anytime the U.S. gets the ball behind the goal.
Picked up by Jack Follows. Follows is following Kavanaugh. Use the screen. Follows still sticks to him.
Much better. 46 in red. Follows, second-year player out of Cornell. Lefty. He was injured this year with a wrist injury early in the year, man. Future All-American. He's a future star.
Between him and Gavin Adler, good luck scoring on Cornell next year. Here's C.J. Kerr, scored 5 goals in the first half. As the short stick matchup with Sam English.
How does he find the shorty?
He toasted him, set it up, and Knobloch cashes in.
If there's one adjustment at halftime you're going to make if you're Team Canada's defense, it's how you defending the invert and what are you doing to nullify C.J. Kerr. Ankle-breaking moves, draws the double team. Knobloch with the textbook step-down shot right-handed from about 9 yards. Kerr the catalyst. Knobloch finishes. I tell you, Shane has been he's been a primetime player for Rutgers from the moment he stepped on campus. I remember his freshman year, early in the year, he put up big goal totals. He's one of the reasons why the Scarlet Knights made that run to semifinals.
Stathakis is back at the X, the Denver Pioneer. Punched it free. 37 in White, had it for a second. That's Jackson Bonnet's 8 in White, who came out with it. Enough time for Nick Myers to call timeout.
It's a smart timeout, maybe a little early though. Midway through the third quarter, but coach obviously thinking that this lead and possession without a shot clock. And he wants to strangle the momentum of this game.
Well, ESPN Films presents Fate of a Sport. Lacrosse legend Paul Rabel fights to change the trajectory of the sport he loves by launching a new professional league, the PLL. Streaming on ESPN Plus starting August 29th, just a week and a half from now. I, for one, cannot wait. I'll be having the popcorn ready midnight, August 29th. Miss the premiere in Tribeca, miss the premiere in LA. Fired up to watch it on ESPN Plus.
There's some riveting, eye-catching lacrosse highlights in that film that'll do well for the sport. PLL's in Seattle or Tacoma tonight on ESPN Plus. 7 Chrome against the Redwoods, followed by Archers and the Water Dogs. Dana Boyle, Ryan Boyle, and Jay Alter. They had Dana Boyle in the fish market yesterday catching octopuses with a goalie stick. It's part of their open for producer TJ.
TJ going Emmy hunting in Seattle.
Yeah. So that's coming up tonight on ESPN Plus. They also play on Sunday on Plus at 3 o'clock. Whip Snakes, #1 team against the Cannons with Lyle Thompson. It's been great covering the pros. And as I said earlier, like, this event has C.J. Costabile played in this event in 2008. Adam Gittleman played in this event in 2008. Mentioned O'Keefe Sowers, Brian Costabile, Jack Rowlett. Like, this is the training ground of future pros.
Brendan Grimes almost had it jarred free by Casey Wilson. Here comes Cole Kirst to his brother CJ. 5 goals and a dime. That's Pat Cavanaugh, number 4 in white. Cavanaugh on the feed. The shot stopped by Creaser. O'Neal picks up the rebound. O'Neal, right hand shot finds Twine. What can't this guy do?
He is hungry, huh? Presses left-handed. He likes his matchup, so he circles back righty and gets to the middle of the field. At that stage, Team Canada sends a double team, but it's too late. Power, versatility, a right-handed goal, deception. He has dealt with all the accolades and all the pressure. The #1 recruit coming off of Long Island and St. Anthony's. I think he was a verbal commit back in 8th grade before they changed the early recruiting rules. All he needs now at Duke is some team success. 98 goals in 2 years. The team's lost 9 games, though. They lost 6 games last year and didn't make the NCAA tournament.
Championship weekend in 2021, though. Knocking on the door.
USA defense has done a nice job on Ross Scott. Kenny Brower, the lefty, 7 in white, left hand on your screen, you see him. Thomas McConvey only has 1 goal, and Hiltz with 1 goal has been relatively quiet. Hogg's been a problem, though. Speedy lefty.
A couple of goals in that first half. McConvey, back to X, and Hiltz. Matched up with Michael Alexander from Yale. Hiltz trying to get some space, turns, shoots, and scores! Oh, and Hiltz! Oh, Canada!
Unassisted, you get the sense right here. Watch it change of direction, ankle break, boom, right there. Double team is late. Hiltz so quickly transitions from carrying mode and the assist eyes up mode to realizing that his defender's on the ground. I gotta get this shot out of my pocket quick because the double team is coming. And he transitions from cradle to release in a blink of an eye.
The Syracuse Supernova has both Canada goals this half. Back to a 2-goal game. Naso wins the faceoff for Team USA. Q, what do you think of Syracuse next spring? Hiltz, Spallina, think they got a chance to be good?
9 Under Armour All-Americans off the senior team this year. They pick up Cole Kirsten, the transfer portal. There's going to be a lot of new faces. I think they're still looking up in the ACC at Virginia and Notre Dame in that top tier. I put Duke at 3.
O'Neal. Wow, what a finish! Alex Slusher goes to the turf and stings it.
I mean, O'Neal and C.J. Kirsten putting on a show. Look at this. He draws 3 men. He's fading to nowhere down the alley towards X. Somehow the balance, the dexterity, the hand-eye coordination to find his teammate. Man, Brennan O'Neal is putting on a show. All Slusher does is finish. He was more than 40% as a shooter for Princeton this year. Tigers rolled into championship weekend. It's a sensational season for them.
Slusher looked like he was going down to kiss the Blarney Stone on that shot. U.S. wins the faceoff from the wing. It's Bonnets with the long pole taken away by Canada.
Wow, who was that? That was some
Grace,
play.
I think. 58.
Michael Grace, the lone D3 player in this game, plays at RIT. I mean, the slap check, takes the ball off the carpet, and then seamlessly throws a cross-field pass on stride to his teammate, who was pretty well covered, by the way. That was something else. Michael Grace.
Q, that guy's a winner. Back-to-back D3 national championships at RIT.
He's from Hamilton, Ontario. Been there. Plays for Jake Kuhn. Was a midfielder, was a D-midi, and then they gave him a pole.
Scott with space, one more. McConvey couldn't handle it. Entenmann fights for it and picks it up. McConvey's looking for a whistle, saying he got pushed or tripped into the crease.
Well, he was sold.
It's USA ball.
Yukon Cornelius wasn't buying it. I thought that was too much passing. They forced that one inside. Probably should have let it rip from about 12, dead center. Clock now for Team USA. Got to end this quarter here on the offensive end.
Largest lead is 3. Can Team USA tack on another heading to the 4th? Knobloch has a step. Shane Knobloch skips it. Bundy's shot stopped by Creaser. 6 saves for the Canadian goalie. 4 seconds left. Kavanaugh triggers. Kurst couldn't catch it. Whistles abound. And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. Caleb Creaser playing well between the pipes for Canada. His team trails by 3. It ties the largest lead for Team USA. Trying to make it 9 for 9 in gold medals at this tournament. The age requirement has changed, but maybe the gold medal winner hasn't. Team USA leads by 3 with 15 minutes left. .15 minutes left. 1 gold medal up for grabs. U.S. leads by 3, tied for their largest lead today against Team Canada. This has been the matchup in now 6 consecutive U19 and U21 World Championships. Drew Carter, Quinn Kesnick, Ralph Bednarczyk with you. 15 minutes left to glory for one of these countries. Jake Naso wins the face-off clean for the Americans. Right to the hole, his shot is wide. Backed up by Alex Slusher, it stays here. And it's Canada ball. Could it be another offsides? We saw that wipe away a goal for Bo Columbus, the face-off guy for Canada in the first half.
I think it may have been a crease violation. Did Naso continue and run right through the crease after the shot missed.
A good call, Q. I think you're right. All right, Quinn, what does Canada need to do to erase this deficit?
I think their stars have to show up here in the fourth quarter. Ross Scott got to be a playmaker down low, 15 in red. I think Thomas McConvey's got to get more touches from the midfield. Graydon Hogg has been a party starter. 45 in red off the dodge against the shorty.
Here he is with a runway. He's dangerous. Starter since day one for Scott Marr at UAlbany. That ball somehow found Scott, and he stuffs it top shelf. Ross Scott makes it a 2-goal game.
That's just lucky. Great defense. You get the second slide for Team USA, and they crush the recipient of that pass, but Scott's on the backside of that play, just steps upfield. His man had left him as the second slide, and so he's wide open. So just a little bit of bad luck for Team USA there. That was good team defense.
Ross Scott picking up the loose change, a native of West Lynn, Oregon. His grandparents are Canadian, so he can suit up in the red. Picked up off the wing by Levi Virch, who scored a goal in the first half with the long pole.
Virch has played a big game. Part of that St. Joe's team under head coach Taylor Ray.
Taken away by Team USA.
Wow. Kenny Brower, super strong in the corner. 7 in white. I mean, he is so strong when he can get his hands on you. The cross-handed V-hold from the lefty.
Kenny Brower has an MVP argument if USA hangs on here. What do you think, Q?
He does. He should be first-team All-World and maybe the defensive MVP. Holding Ross Scott to 1 goal and 1 assist in pool play. And he's doing a nice job again tonight.
Here comes C.J. Kirst. He might be the MVP himself. Scored 5 goals in the first half today. Coming up on 8:30 local time in Limerick, 3:30 Eastern here stateside. Kavanaugh spins it up top. Graham Bundy. Bundy has a step and the goal. Graham Bundy's on the board in the fourth quarter.
Right-handed, right down the middle of the field. This guy scored 45 goals for the Hoyas this year. He's the first Team USA member from St. Louis, Missouri, and a captain down in D.C. for head coach Kevin Warren. He's had a big-time tournament here, shooting. We got our first stick check.
Yeah, here we go. When everyone starts getting tight, fourth quarter of a gold medal game, people call for stick checks. Canada's asked Yukon Cornelius to check out Graham Bundy's
I love how they block our view. Like, so the width, it's got to be 40 inches from end to end. It's got to have a butt end with that plastic cap. Now we'll check the pocket depth.
What's the rule here, Quinn?
Measuring the strings, I don't think they, a certain string length on a stick.
And the pocket can only be so deep, right?
Yeah, you can't see the top of the ball through the pocket. That doesn't look like it's too deep. The ball comes out. I think that stick passes all the tests.
Remember, there was a big stick check back in 2018. And the stick's okay. Goal is good. Remember, Q, you were on the call in the pool play game between U.S. and Canada back in 2018. Greg Gorenlian, the face-off guy for Team USA, they checked his stick, and the ball didn't come out when they flipped the stick over, and it was a violation, allowed Canada to go on the extra man.
you know, sometimes don't misinterpret like, oh, that's unsportsmanlike, checking a guy's stick. It's a way a coach can buy a free timeout also. Okay, I know many coaches who it's an extra timeout that every coach in lacrosse gets because there's no penalty for getting it wrong. The stick's legal, fine, but he just bought his team a minute and a half or 2 minutes of rest.
Picked up from the wing by Verge. He's already scored one today. This time he sets it up, and Mike Grace puts it home. Pull goal and pull assist for the Canadians.
These guys have been awesome today. Levi Verge has been everywhere. He scored a goal, he picks up an assist, the lefty's been on the wing of faceoffs, and we've talked about Michael Grace, the lone D3 player in this game. He plays at RIT. Two-time champs, Hamilton, Ontario native. He's a third-team All-American, good handle, and they have flipped the switch in terms of the faceoffs in this game. These wing guys, these talented wing players.
Tonight from Salt Lake City, UFC 278, Kamaru Usman, the top pound-for-pound fighter in the UFC, defending his welterweight belt for the 6th time against Leon Edwards. That's the main event. ABC, ESPN, Deportes, and Plus. Check it out tonight from Salt Lake City. Canada with a double pull on the face-off wing. It has borne fruit today. And they pick up another. Verge had it. Motioning for something right in front of his team. They got the timeout. They got the timeout. So Matt Brown has a chance to talk things over with his team. Under 10 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Let's go on the field and check in with Ralph.
Well, guys, as we get to crunch time, what we've been watching over the last 12 days with Caleb Creaser, the goalie for Canada, almost didn't happen. He's played just a total of 30 minutes and 6 games off the bench in 3 years at Lehigh before taking over a net and shining here in Limerick. He told me during the spring at Lehigh he had an early season concussion, and if not for injuries to other goalies, there was talk that he might be converted to a long pole midi just to get on the field. He plays as a box lacrosse defender for Peterborough pretty regularly, including this summer, the lead up before getting here with Canada. Look out for him in the 10-man ride. Canada has shown it a bunch in Ireland, and he's never been in a crunch time game until 10 days ago against the United States, and here he is between the pipes.
Really good stuff there from Ralph. The 10-man ride point, especially if Creaser comes out of his crease in a desperation scenario for Canada, he will be comfortable.
Creaser is very good, excellent clearing goalie. Played behind James Spence. You think about it, James Spence sent Colin Kirst packing to Rutgers. And Colin Kirst became a high-level All-American and now a pro goalie. Well, Creaser had to sit behind Spence as well. And Creaser from Huntsville, Ontario, played at the Hill Academy. The senior-level Canadian goalies would appear to be Dylan Ward and Brett Dobson, both playing right now in the PLO.
Two of the best in the world. Dobson led Canada to gold at the World Games in the sixes format. Here's McConvey, draws the slide. Hiltz has some space. Matched up with Alexander. Hiltz with those shifty feet.
No
Owen Hiltz trying to find some space. Hiltz just missed it wide, backed up by Scott.
Brower ended up going late, but it's almost as if they put him out on an island. Playing Hiltz as a passer. Slow to double team. Let's watch Brower and Scott. This will be awesome.
Ross Scott with it. Going to be a senior at Rutgers against Kenny Brower. Brower going to be a senior at Duke. Hogg shoveled it. Entenmann had it for a second. It stays out of the goal. U.S. dodges a bullet there. Here comes Patrick Hackler.
Strong defense at the point of attack. Winning the individual matchups, Team USA.
And this is crunch time for Canada. No shot clock. 8:30 left in regulation. Kavanaugh. At what point does Canada start pressing out?
4 or 5 minutes to go.
Here's Kavanaugh. Under 8 minutes now.
Look at Follows. Really nice defense. Good footwork. Control the hands.
O'Neal with a step. Just missed it wide.
He wins the leverage game with that big body and the combination of the quickness and power. This is where defenses start to get tired in this international format. These possessions, it's a minute, 2 minutes. You lose your communication, you lose your legs, your splits start getting more narrow. You don't close out as fast.
Kavanaugh with tons of space. Threw it over his shoulder and Creaser stopped it. On the backup, did Casey Wilson win it for Canada? Oh, he did. Creaser and Wilson come up huge to give it back to the Canadians with under 7 to play.
Look at the save differentials. Yeah. It's not that Enneman has played poorly. Canada just hasn't wasted shots or really fed into him. He's played well in this game.
Adam Poitras presses the gas pedal. He's got speed. Extra feed saved by Entenmann right on cue. Noah Manning was right on the crease. Here's Brock Haley. Came into this game with 15 assists, tops on the team. He's been silent today. Jack Monfort, 23 in white, the Yale shorty, all over him. Haley gives it up. McConvey. Poitras. Ross Scott, all the quickness in the world. Says he tries to beat guys within the first 5 to 10 yards. Under 6 minutes left. Haley slows it down. Remember, it's a running clock until 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then the clock stops on stoppages.
Lefty out of Loyola. Whitby, Ontario.
Poitras had it jarred loose. Jake Caputo. Poitras got it back, shoots. Entenmann gobbles it up.
A righty from Long Island. Enneman was all over that. Catching it, great rebound control. U.S. is going to be in patience mode here.
Knobloch gives it away. McConvey's got it for Canada. Canada needs to move. Under 5 minutes. McConvey to Haley. Team Canada has been denied time and again by Team USA.
U.S. got too many guys on defense. U.S. has got too many guys on defense. Count them up. If we go to our wide shot, you'll see they got too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see? Count the white jerseys.
Don't see a flag down. Not yet. Now Canada just noticed it, I think. The bottom of your screen. McConvey couldn't haul it in.
Clock continues to run even during a penalty stoppage.
Yep. Too many men for Team USA. Canada to the man up now under 4 minutes.
I mean, here we go. This is your golden opportunity.
Running clock until 2 minutes left. 30 seconds on the man up. Remember, Canada had a goal wiped in the first half due to an offsides on a faceoff when Bo Columbus went right to the rack. They trail by 2. Ross Scott. Here's Brock Haley. Haley right to the middle. Manning had it jarred free. Kenny Brower comes up major with the stick check.
It was Brower, 7 and white on the trail check. So now back to full strength. You think Canada will press a little here on this ride. I don't think they can afford to sit back. I think they got to roll up field and pull Creaser and go 10-man.
As Ralph pointed out, Creaser comfortable out of his crease. Entenmann flings it. That's out of bounds.
Entenmann's got to show a little more poise there. Carry with some pressure on you like an athlete.
10-man ride works for Canada. Under 3 minutes to play, they need 2. That's Ty English, 23 in red. Gives it to his brother Sam, 10 in red.
Surprised at how few 2-man games Canada has done, especially from the wing with guys like McConvey. They've liked this Hogg matchup all night.
Hogg against Caputo. Duke Blue Devil. Hogg shoots left-handed and scores! Hat-trick for Graydon Hogg. Canada's going hog wild. It's a 1-goal game.
He's got a burst that they can't handle. Clears him right-handed. Caputo goes for the trail check. Misses it right there. The double team's late, untouched, and Hogg makes this a 1-goal game. You talk about big face-offs, each team with 1 timeout. Clock stops at under 2. Now we'll play normal lacrosse here with the whistle stopping. It's not running time from here on out.
We're at the 2-minute warning, if you will. Canada trails by 1. They've never led. The last tie was 2-2. Jake Naso wins the face-off for Team USA. Got it to Montfort, and Nick Myers burns the timeout with a $1:55.
That's a conservative timeout call, considering you had the Canadians unorganized, without their ideal defensive personnel out on the field. You could have killed another 15 or 20 seconds before the guys in red would have realized that they would have had to press out and generate the double team. And what in effect you've done there is you've allowed Canada now to set up their double team off this dead ball.
Nick Myers has assembled this team on energy, effort, and toughness, and they are a minute 55 away from winning a gold medal, making it 9 for 9 in this tournament.
Fitting ending to this U21s, which are supposed to be U19s. It's got postponed because of COVID. 23 teams here, that's a record. Haudenosaunee earlier today capture their bronze medal. Japan finishes 5th. A real shout out to Kenya, the Netherlands, Poland, Jamaica, and Ireland for strong tournaments.
Let's check in with Ralph.
Yeah, Quint, you mentioned how the tournament came together. It has been a long journey. This idea was first born in about 2011 for Ireland with the Heritage Cup. They had a chance to host that in 2013, start to think about it. 2015, paperwork was submitted and accepted in 15, and then crazy paperwork and shoveling contracts. Talking to the president of Ireland Lacrosse, Michael Kennedy, vendors got scheduled, postponed twice. Hats off to him. One day in December of 2020, Quint, around Christmas, Michael Kennedy really got burnt out wondering if this was ever going to happen. He decided he just wanted to watch lacrosse. Randomly found 2009 Duke, North Carolina ACC final, watched the whole thing in one sitting. That recharged him. He went back to work that night before Christmas, showed him why he had to push through. That's why we're here.
And Team USA is close to a goal. Kavanaugh waits and buries. Pat Kavanaugh may have just delivered the dagger in Ireland.
Really nice off the timeout. Here's a double team. Splits it. Ducks and slices through it. Great wheels. I mean, Kavanaugh is always a working hard player, super smart, plays with great emotion. And that is clutch. Game not over, though, for Canada. If you're going to give up a goal, give it up right away. Go back to the face-off. Possession is what dictates these scenarios. It looked like Naso moved there. He did.
He did. Naso went early. Canada takes the face-off. Remember in the last final, 2016, in Canada, Coquitlam, British Columbia, it was 13-12. USA with the win. Can they hang on here? Leading 12-10 with under 90 seconds to play. Hogg has been a star with a hat trick already. Gives it to McConvey. Gets the left hand free. Missed it wide. Back up by Entenmann. USA ball.
Both low attackmen for Team Canada were north of the goal line extended, and therefore the official on that McConvey shot that went out of bounds, they felt that Entenmann was closer to the end line when the ball goes out of bounds. McConvey will roll back to his left, lets it go, and you see that I'm not sure the official saw the player from Canada behind him, but
Hiltz,
without a doubt, Entenmann was closer than the right-handed attackman.
Well, they gave Canada the timeout. So,
international rules different on a dead ball there. I guess they can call timeout now. This is where you bring the 10-man ride. You're going to have to double the ball right away. You're going to have to go empty net if you're Matt Brown. You got to roll upfield. It'll be interesting to see who Team USA handles with, okay? Do they put the goalie in the crease and play some games there? Do they give it to a super speedy midi and ask him to beat the double team? Or do they just send the ball into the night sky down towards Brendan O'Neill and hope that he can win a one-on-one ground ball? That's not a bad strategy, believe it or not. So there's a bunch of scenarios that they're going to coach through right now.
Brown's guys are back out on the field. Brown 16 years as an assistant at Denver, including 13 under Bill Tierney. Nick Myers, 14 as the head man at Ohio State.
Led the Buckeyes to that 2017 national championship game. No double team initially. There is no clearing clock, so the U.S. is not in a rush.
That's why it was weird when Entenmann just flung it down the field the last time they tried to beat this 10-man ride. Caputo back to Alexander. Under a minute to play now. U.S. still leads by 2. They have not trailed at all. Long pass again. Loose ball taken away by Canada. That's Creaser, who was out of his crease on the 10-man. They've got to move quickly. The clock will stop on a goal if they can find one. Approaching 30 seconds. Sam English. Under 30 now. McConvey with some space, just missed it upstairs. 25 seconds even. Scott triggers. Here comes English. They've got to go. English still has it, shovels it, couldn't find a teammate. Turnover, USA ball.
Midfielders come back to the ball here. Don't be running to the substitution box or upfield. Come back and stay relative to the ball. If in doubt, send this one deep.
That's what they do. Monfort slings it the length of the field. Canada has it with Jack Follows. What's the whistle for?
It's going to be a penalty behind the ball against Canada. Hiltz.
Under 10. Kavanaugh fires it into the Ireland sky. 5 seconds. Another whistle. And Kavanaugh paid the price. Got sandwiched by a couple of Canadians as he was trying to kill the clock. It's a cross check against Canada. Let's hope Pat Kavanaugh's okay.
Rising senior in Notre Dame. Brother Matt plays for the Redwoods. Here's the late hit. I mean, that's high and late. That's bad. That's poor sportsmanship, and you hate to finish off an event of this magnitude that's got such great spirit with a play like that. I know this is frustrating for Team Canada. They'll drop to 0-7 in U21 and U19 finals. The U.S. will win their 9th straight. They're the only team that's won it.
That's all she wrote. The age limit changed. The champion did not. USA is 9 for 9 in this event. And another gold medal is coming to the States.
This was a special game. The talent on both teams as strong for this age category as we've ever seen. For Team Canada, a great tournament. Graydon Hogg, their hero today. Levi Virch and Michael Grace were unbelievable, but just too much CJ Kirst.
Nick Myers has won another gold. He's standing by with Ralph.
Coach, at the start of this, you told me character was going to be critical into winning a championship. A lot of great talent out there in the United States. You also put character at the very top, equal with talent. How did that surface today to win a title?
Listen, hats off to Canada. They're an incredible team. They're well coached. You know, just a very formidable opponent. You know, so I'll start there. But I couldn't be prouder of these 23 brothers. We've become a family over here in Ireland. And we had a huge responsibility coming over here. We knew what we needed to do. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. It certainly wasn't tonight. And just incredibly proud of these men, the staff, and very thankfully bringing the gold medal back to the United States.
You were hoping to make this be a tremendous offensive unit. Great stars around. How did this eventually come together over 2.5 years? You guys weren't together for a year and a half and had to put this together in 12 days.
Yeah, listen, it was a faceless group. I mean, they were willing to do whatever we needed them to do whenever it was asked, and tonight's a great example of that. They stuck together. You know, they grinded. It was different guys in different moments. Different guys stepped up tonight, and just incredibly proud of how unselfish they are and how they played for each other.
CJ Kirst, 5 goals and an assist. 2 years ago, you cut him. He was just finishing his high school junior year. You had 1 spot left in June, and you thought of him. Why? And how about that decision?
If you watched the first round of the playoffs, you know the answer to that question. You know, he's an incredible player. Beyond his talent, you know, he's a guy that I think just brings out the best in others. Him and his brother have incredible energy. They're special teammates. And he bleeds the red, white, and blue, man. He's an awesome and special addition to this brotherhood, and we're thrilled that he's part of it.
Nick, lastly, this is your 2nd trip, first coach ever to do that, 2 U19 squads. This was 6 years apart. Just describe that process, what we've been through, COVID, what this group has been through.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put into words. I think a lot of credit goes to U.S. Lacrosse, the leadership at U.S. Lacrosse for fighting to make this event happen for our men. You know, it wasn't easy. It would have been easy to push it aside and move on. And there were some moments where we didn't know what was going to happen, but we hung in there. And this group of men have come from high school juniors and seniors to now juniors and seniors in college, and we're still world champs, man. And we did it again.
Nick, thank you. Congrats.
Right on.
Drew, back to you.
Great stuff, Ralph. And Nick Myers, what an ambassador for our game and for our country, Quinn. 2-time gold medal winning coach at this level.
All the pressure comes with being the head coach of any Team USA, whether you're the women, the men's, or the U19 or U21 variety. So Nick Myers has done everything first class. Congratulations to his staff, also his brother Pat, Stan Ross, Andrew Stimmel, and Ron Caputo.
The superstar today on the field was C.J. Kirst, who's standing by with Ralph.
CJ, until June, you were not a member of this team. How and why were you quickly able to assimilate on a team full of alphas? You step in, able to produce in the biggest games.
Yeah, when I got the call, I knew that I was going to be around such great players and, more importantly, such great people. Coach Myers did a tremendous job choosing tremendous 23 guys. And when I first stepped foot in the locker room, they opened their arms, and everyone was just a great guy and a great teammate, and I couldn't be happier being with on this team.
Describe what your role ended up being today. We know about O'Neal, a lot of great players, yet you found spaces to finish.
Yeah, when you name those guys like Brendan O'Neal, Pat Cavanaugh, Alex Slusher, I can keep going on, the whole nine. It just makes my life easy. If I just move a little bit off ball, and Pat Cavanaugh finds a way to find me, and we did that today.
I was lucky enough to stand at the sideline during most of the game. Can you tell people out there the intensity on the field tonight?
Yeah, it was incredible. A couple of my best friends play on Team Canada, and they did a tremendous job. That coaching staff did a great job preparing them, and it was a battle. My brother Cole and Graham Bundy, both their captains, did a great job showing us what it's like to step foot on this field, and I was just so happy to follow in their footsteps, and we were able to come out successful.
CJ, congratulations. You're not a champ. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
CJ Kirst, 5 goals and assists. Drew, back to you.
All right, Ralph. C.J. Kirst has earned himself a Taylor ham, egg and cheese, his favorite food. Not a pork roll, egg and cheese, a Taylor ham, egg and cheese from New Jersey. As we look back on the highlights queue, this was as good as it gets and exactly what we expected. There's Kirst with his first of 5, but it was back and forth action. No one had a lead of more than 3 goals. This is what we hope for.
You think about this event, 23 nations. The reality is that Team USA and Team Canada are head and shoulders in their own galaxy. But the show they put on today, to think that there's young men from Sweden and Uganda and China and Latvia and Wales watching this up in the stands after competing all week, that's what moves this game forward. Individual efforts today across the board were strong. I think we gave Kenny Brower the love he deserved during this game. He was certainly a defensive leader for Team USA. And when you got guys like Pat Cavanaugh and C.J. Kirst and Cole Kirst, and there's a certain toughness and attitude, they weren't going to be denied. They weren't going to come up short.
Team USA has never lost this tournament. They're now 9 for 9 in gold medals, whether it's U19 or U21. And the trophy's coming back to the U.S. How special for these guys. They've been through the ringer, as Ralph mentioned. This team originally assembled for the first time back in 2019, couldn't reconvene for a year and a half during the pandemic. This event got postponed a couple of times, and now here we are 6 years later. Team USA is back on top of the world in this junior event.
Memories that'll last a lifetime. Hopefully they made some bonds with the players from other nations and amongst their own teammates.
If you're watching this around the world, you could be next. Who's going to challenge the U.S. or Canada on this stage? Right now, the Americans are unscathed. 9 tournaments, 9 gold medals, including this one, a 12-10 winner over Canada in the 7th time they've matched up here. It's been a special couple of weeks in Limerick, Ireland. The world has descended on the western side of this beautiful country. We've seen some highs, we've seen some lows, but at the end of the day, it's Team USA with another gold medal. Ralph Bednarczyk has done a phenomenal job providing the play-by-play solo for the majority of these games. It's been a pleasure working with you, Quint Kesnick, and our entire crew in Ireland, led by Mikey Sullivan. USA wins gold at the U21 World Championships. First time it's U21. Some things change, some things stay the same. USA is your champ, coming back home with a gold medal. Thanks for hanging out with us, and enjoy the rest of your summer.